we set as JS server. So as usual, like our general programming language concept, we have here something called variable and data type. But it's since not a compiler based programming language, it is a com and decom based scripting. Browser is not a compiler, right? So browser can only support which can be helped by com and decom component of the browser. So it doesn't have as such uh, you know uh, all the programming construct like structure, inbuilt classes, inbuilt functions. Those things might not be there, but few things will be there which is supported by our browser. So variable, we say here at variant variable, var. Okay, and data type, okay, data type is this, but variable and data type is variant here. So variant variable and data type, we name it as var with some variable. So here x can consume any type of data. Like if I say x equal to 10, it will start behaving as integer. If I'll say x equal to abcd within double quote, it will start behaving like a string. That's why we say it as variant data type. Now, taking this variant data type and variable concept, all the operators that you know in C# will be applicable here. Since you already know all the operators, I will just write same as C#. For example, plus, minus, multiplication, division, modulus operator, less than, greater than, less than equal to, greater than equal to, not equal to, whatever operator those are all applicable here as well. Some exception will be there, exceptional case where few things will not be applicable, few things will be additionally applicable. That I will tell you time to time. But yeah, overall you can say 99% operators are applicable in JavaScript as well. Syntax will be similar. C, C++, Java, C#, JavaScript, these are all similar syntax. So operator, variable, data type, conditions, conditional statement also same. We will directly do some example. You will come to know how it is exactly similar 99%. So conditional statements are also similar, or I will say same only, same as C#. So I don't think syntax separately I need to teach you, but few things are there which is new thing we have to learn here. There we say console.writeLine, console.readLine, here little different. In browser there is nothing called console, right? So in browser we have to either display on the screen like a label, or you have to display like a pop-up. That pop-up is nothing but we say it as alert box. So there are some dialog boxes available here in JavaScript. So let's first understand what are various dialog boxes. So I will write the heading dialog boxes. There are three types of dialog boxes we have. One is alert. This is, I'm writing capital just to give importance. Otherwise, you write in small or write in capital, doesn't matter. So alert, prompt, we have something called confirm. First I will tell you how to apply, where to apply. Then these things will learn here and implement there. So here you go to your solution, and in view you have something called head area, right? So just go there and write a script tag. The script says default script JavaScript. If by chance other than JavaScript something else you are trying, then perhaps here you have to write language equal to whatever. Imagine VB script. Then VB script you have to write explicitly. But this time nothing to write. We have to say simply script, because JavaScript is the default script. Now here I will write a function just like this. So let's say function f1. Okay. So all the coding always written inside a function like in C#. So inside script tag you have to define a function, and that function you have to call wherever required. So first dialog box is alert. Alert syntax is alert within double quote within bracket whatever you want to display. Suppose you want to display welcome to JS, then that you have to write there. Okay, here alert welcome to JS. Semicolon optional here, but in C# it is mandatory. So now this function is there, no problem. But do you think automatically will be executed? No, somebody has to call it. So who is going to call it? Imagine your button is going to call it. Then here you write button. In the button you can write on click equal to whatever the function name. On click equal to whatever the function name, F1. In fact, this will work for you. But to make it little enhanced, the best practice, always you write return whatever function name. I'll tell you the benefit of it. If you are not writing return, regardless of this function is returning true or returning false, it will take you to the controller. It will take you to the controller regardless. But in future, we are going to implement our JavaScript knowledge for validation purpose. Suppose there is a text box called product name. So product name should be 10, minimum 5 character or maximum 20 character. So that is called a validation. Now imagine somebody entered only 2 character here. Then this JavaScript function is going to check. If it is 2 character, return false. If it is proper, return true. So that return true, return false, we can control by saying that if invalid, don't go to controller. If valid, then only go to controller. If you want to control all those flow, then you have to write return. And here you make sure you are returning some true or false. This time, suppose I will return false. RETURN, return false, suppose. Then what does it mean? I have to control this true or false as per my programming. So return false meaning is don't go to the controller, be here in the browser. And when I will say return true, it will say whatever you want to conditionally check it, whatever you want to display it, and after that please go to controller. That is called return true. We will implement in some conditional statement, but as of now, just for example, I return false. So we'll see whether it is residing on the browser without going to the controller. Then I will come here and change it to true, and we'll see whether it is really displaying it. On press of OK button, it should go to controller. So let's put a breakpoint here. Both are already put, and then run it and see if this will work. After that, all other knowledge whatever we will get, we can implement in that function. So run it. I believe we have already given the default things. So let's run it. Taking some time. Okay, while it is executing, we can utilize this time, guys. Just to give one notification that every year our institute closes the functions between 25th of December to 1st January. Okay, so some 2 to 3 classes definitely we may suffer in this. So to manage that, what I used to do is I may take some extra time during our general session. So our timing is now 6:30 to 7:30. So if I will extend it up to 8, I hope all good. Anybody has any trouble if we'll extend up to 8 a.m.? Okay, only if somebody has problem, you can unmute and speak. otherwise I will take it as granted. So 6:30 to 8, if you'll do these days. Yeah, Kirti. What time? Okay, okay. So how do you manage then? General our timing is 7:30. Right after the class, you used to rush. Okay, okay, okay. Let's see what we can do. But if it is just one or two student, I will suggest it's not much days. It will be a matter of 3 to 4 classes. So if you are missing 15 minutes or so, just go through the recorded video, so that will not be lagged. Otherwise, perhaps we will be lagged. Acha, acha. No problem. No problem. If it is manageable, please manage, so that will not be lagged at the end. Otherwise, maybe 10-15 days usually. These kind of things you will not do at the end of the course, 10-15 days. Sometimes we may lag, right? Few people, they will make some plan taking 4 months into account, right? So this is where we can manage the time. Just check it out. If much problem, then usually we cancel it, as usual we do. But okay, if it is manageable, we can do it. Coming back, so you can see our control is here, line number 12, and continue. So it should display me a form. Okay, still I didn't change this product ID to product name. I will do it. Suppose product name is television. Okay, product name is television, and product ID, vendor ID is 4, suppose. Now I click on save. Have a look. This message came, means definitely it went inside that function, isn't it? When I say okay, it is not coming here. I have kept breakpoint, but it's not coming here. So this scenario is helpful when we are checking the validation. Imagine we are checking some validation in the form, and you saw that it is invalid form, some one or two items are invalid, then you can return false. Keep it in mind when we will, implement this knowledge in our form validation. So this return false or return true, we have to control. If all good, return true. Otherwise, return false. So that kind of thing we can do, so that it will control it by writing this return statement. So return true indicates please go to server. Return false indicates I will not allow to go to server, be in the browser, because I have displayed some error message. Let him correct it. After that only again submit it. If all good, then only go to the server. So this kind of activity you can control with the help of return statement. Otherwise, it is not mandatory. If you remove here also and here also, still your function will be called. Now, by default, what will be the return type? That is a general question in interview. So for any JavaScript function, by default, return type is true. That's why if you don't write your own, then it will definitely go to the controller. Regardless, any message is showing, not showing, it will definitely go to controller. So this is a small update. Now let's go to our programming construct. So alert says, please display something on the screen. Prompt says, please take something from the screen. So syntax is like this within double quote, something like please enter, let's say, not appropriate for our screen, but okay, I will write some. So please enter your name. Because you have a text box, why should I ask user to enter like this, right? Through a pop-up or dialog box. But sometimes you may need it. That's why syntax wise, let's understand. But in our current case, it is not appropriate to apply. So if you want to store that name, then you can say var name equal to like this. This is the general syntax. So though it is not appropriate, so what I will do is I will just create a new screen. Here you go. and make it as product name. Coming here and public. I will create another screen which is not appropriate for our insert screen, that I will write it here. So public iAction result, something like prod detail. Okay, my view name will be prod detail, return view, and that will not be any model based view, it will be one empty view just to test some syntaxes of the JavaScript. So come here, already you have your folder, and here you go and create a new view. That is product detail, this is prod detail. Okay, controller name is product detail, action method name I took as prod detail. So don't take exact same always, little bit different you must take. So that view I will create non-model based view, simple view, empty view. Okay, because we want to implement small syntaxes to understand JavaScript. Like I want to ask user to enter something through dialog box. He enters it, then I will take and store in some variable. Then I will make some calculation or conditional approach. Then I will control it, go to controller or don't go to controller. This kind of things we will do here. So here we go. Almost everything is similar. So what I will do is I will just copy paste this and I will remove what is not required. I don't need these text boxes and all. Chalo, one text box I will keep for some purpose if any. So here I will say product name, it's okay. This time I will give text box instead of text box for, because we don't have any model based view this time. So text box, I have told three things, right? One is text box, one is text box for, one is editor for. So text box says if you are giving t1, that means ID of the text box will be t1, right? Or simply give p name, then product name. Chalo, this all we will remove. This one I will keep. This save, I will say okay. Alright, that's it. Return f1. So here you make a function called f1 and we will control that true or false. I want to implement that prompt. Let it be here, this text box, we don't bother. Now below this we will write some in JavaScript we'll write some prompt directly. So here you go. I will say var name equal to this time I will say client name equal to prompt, within double quote I will say please enter client name and the script has not been implemented, that's why it is not showing in blue color. So your intelligence will come when you say that this is a script in JavaScript. Okay. I collected name from the user through a dialog box. Now what I will do, I will check if that name is minimum 5 character and maximum some 50 character, then I will understand it is a valid name. Otherwise I will understand it is a invalid name, suppose, right? So how to do that? So that all those concepts, whatever we understood, can be implemented. I will say if, okay, conditional statement, same syntax, everything same. So if client name dot length, 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 I will say less than 5. I want minimum 5, so I say less than 5. Or operator, in C sharp, here also same or operator, double pipe. Length should be, if by chance greater than 50, then what I will do, I will take another variable at the top. See how I'm managing it. I will say is valid. Okay. I will say is valid. One variable I took. And initially I will give it as true. Initially I will give it as true. If by chance this is happening, I will give that variable as false. So for validation, when we will work in JavaScript, this kind of control you have to follow. So I just controlled this variable saying that first you have true. If anything invalid, then initialize it as false, right? And here easily I can say alert, okay, invalid, or I will say client name should have 5 to 50 characters, right? Now at the end, I don't need to hard code return true or return false. This time I will say return is valid. Look at it. So do I need to hard code true or false? No. I initialize one default variable called true, but if everything goes well, it will not happen these things. It will not at all come to line number 20 and 21. Then it will come down and as usual return true. If by chance it is invalid, somebody typed only 2 characters, then this will be correct and it will come here. So if you compare with C# syntax, if else condition, do you see anything different? Same or operator, same less than operator, same if condition, everything same. Only this alert and prompt is little new for us. There we say console.writeLine, console.readLine. Here we say alert and prompt. Little bit spelling mistake I did here. ALERT. Okay. What else? Let's run it and see whether it is behaving as per our expectation. So if it is return false, it should not come to the controller. So what I will do is in the same, it will come here, product I have. So I will comment these functions and I will write it as HTTP post function. One as HTTP get, one as HTTP post. So this one HTTP get, this one as HTTP post, and here what I can do, since I have taken a string variable, if you see p name, I will catch that p name here. So string p name, right? Polymorphism. Okay, no two functions should have same signature. So that I did here. Anything you do to supply p name to repository and so on, we don't bother. So that is different. So our control is between view to controller. So put a breakpoint here again and make this as a default action method and then try it. Build it once. Similar way, if you want, you can implement loop concept also. Everything, I will say 99% same syntax. So operator, conditions, even loop. I will write here condition/loop. Statements are also same as C#. So if necessary, you can use loop also. So let's go to our browser. Did it open it? I don't think it opened. I think I built it just now. So let's run it. So product name, we have a text box and OK button, but we are not using it. So on click of OK button, we have a separate dialog box where you have to collect the data, right? So click on OK button. Let's see. It asks me enter the name of the client. So I will say ABC Limited. Then I'll say OK. It is coming here as usual. It is collecting. Acha, text box will have the data. That's why it is null, because our text box is not containing any data. Our variable is containing the data. Whatever, but it came to the controller this time, assuming that all entered data is correct. Now what I will do, I will enter some wrong data intentionally. So see what happens. Like 2 character or 3 character, like that will enter. Continue. If you want that text box data also, you can type here something so that that will go there. Now that is not our area. Our area is this one. So I enter suppose 2 character and then say OK. So now it became invalid. Okay, it is saying client name should be 5 to 50 character. We are typing only 2 character. So take care. So suppose you said OK. Have a look. You have already breakpoint here, right? But when that invalid action is coming, it is not coming here. That is what we want also. So if everything goes well, then return true. If something wrong, then return false. So this is valid variable is controlling our flow of return true or return false. Somebody has raised the hand. Any question? Monica, you have any question? Mm-hmm. 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 In the project you are talking? Uh, Maybe you might have. Are you using action link? So you have to give the action method name as well as controller name if it is belongs to different controller. No, no need. Home slash you will not give. Simply action method name, comma, third parameter within double quote, controller name. Okay, you don't need to give path. You have to give index, comma, home within double quote separately. Third parameter. Okay. Latika. Mm-hmm. 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 Okay. No, no, no. There also you have to write like this if you want to control like this. Usually here also I can remove this, no problem. It will work. But every time it will take me to the controller. Got it or not? So if you want to control, sometimes go to controller, sometimes don't go to controller. Here you are going to controller, there you are going to your code behind. That is the only difference. Otherwise, rules and regulation for JavaScript same only. Forget about .NET. In Java also it is same, in PHP also it is same, rule is same because it's independent of any technology. Got it? So no. If you are not writing there these things, that means you are take it granted. You have taken it granted that regardless of what is happening here, I will definitely go to server. That is the default return true. Okay. Now, loop and all, you can use yourself. Conditional statement mostly will be using in our validations, right? Confirm. One confirm I will teach you. After that, I will give you some work in the project, how to implement JavaScript for the validation of the user registration screen, right? We have one user registration screen. There I will give you the work for validation. First is confirm. What do you mean by this confirm? Sometimes before taking any action, okay, JavaScript action, because we are talking about JavaScript. So before taking any JavaScript action, we may ask user, are you sure you want to do this? Something like that. Okay. For example, you are going to call a function which is going to delete some data, Are you sure you want to delete? For example, this TextBox data, I want to delete on click of the button, right? This TextBox data, I want to delete on the click of the button, suppose. So whenever some destructive things you are going to do, updating, deleting, editing, if it is little risky data or important data, you may ask user, hey, are you sure you want to delete? Are you sure you want to reset this form? So if that is the case, uh, even this return true, right? You can ask user, are you sure you want to go to server and do this operation? If you will say yes, then only return true, otherwise return false. Make sense? So for any important action, if you want to take confirmation from the user, then you have to use confirm bug. So let me say, show you how, what is the syntax, then we will come to implement this. So syntax is something like this. You have to say if, okay, there is a function called confirm. Inside this confirm function, you have to write whatever you want to ask user. Are you sure to proceed? Are you sure to proceed the action? Okay, like that you ask to the user. Now user has full rights to say okay or cancel. So it will open one dialog box basically. Okay, just for okay and cancel. You will say either okay or you will say cancel. If you are saying okay, then it will return true. Which function? Confirm function. So if it is returning true, then obviously it will come inside the condition. So here, so action when user press OK, else part any action when user press cancel. This is, you can say, syntax kind of thing, not the program. So user press cancel. So there will be two buttons in that dialog box, OK and cancel. So just one additional facility, nothing big concept and all. So let's do something by if else condition as well as this confirm dialog box. So come here. So what I want to do is I will do here something like is valid equal to false and is valid equal to true. If invalid, then I have to go to this. So I will say alert this, okay, alert this. Then I will ask user if, okay, confirm. within bracket I'll say um, do you still want to submit, or do you still want to proceed to server? Do you want to still proceed to server, or do you want to still submit, something like that? Okay, that means I know it came inside this means it is invalid, but still I'm asking after showing this alert message ki you have entered wrongly, do you still want to proceed to the server? Okay, now user got an extra option to tell I entered some invalid name, no doubt, some 4 character, but still if it is giving a chance to me, I may say okay, so that if I'm fine, even though it is invalid name, I want to go to the server. So here should I say is valid equal to true? This is called any action that you want to take when user is pressing OK button. Else part, no need to do, because already it might have initiated line number 20 is valid false, right? Understand the logic? So let's run it and see what is the behavior after applying confirmation bugs. Do you want to really delete? Do you want to really submit? Do you want to take the action further? So this kind of confirmation you can take from user, and based on that you can take an action whether he is pressing OK or he is pressing cancel. OK press means return true, cancel press means that will return false. So if condition will catch it and take the action accordingly. So here something I typed, that's not a big deal here, and here I typed something that is important here. So I said okay, then it says you have entered some invalid name, client name, that should be either between 5 to 50. So I said okay. It is asking, do you still want to proceed to the server even though you have entered some invalid name? If I'll say cancel, it will return false. Why? Because if condition is catching it, it got false. So let's click on cancel. Have a look. It is still not coming to the controller if I press cancel. I have put a breakpoint. Now what I will do, again I will go to the browser and I'll say okay. I typed same words before, 2 characters. It told me you have entered one invalid information. I said okay. Then it is saying, still do you want to proceed to the server? I said yeah. If it, even though it is 2 character, I'm fine with it. Please go to the server. So it came to the server. So this go to server or don't go to server, you can control with the help of this construct, programming constructs. Okay. So don't always follow default return. Explicitly write return, so that one more step you will go ahead either by confirmation or without confirmation, but you can say that I can control now if at least one item is invalid, I don't want to unnecessarily take the HTTP request and HTTP response. So these are few things from the JavaScript. Now I'm coming to give you some work on this syntaxes, whatever we saw today in your project. So coming to project, I'll write one more notepad. So in our project there is a screen called user registration. Okay, so project task. We have, I think, user ID Password I have asked not to enter from the screen. If you are entering, it's okay. You can take password validation also. We have, I think, name of the person. There is one more, concept called regular expression. Okay. So I will teach you that regular expression. After that, I will give some additional validation. But as of now, whatever possible in if else condition, that I am giving you. Okay. Regular expression is nice validation technique. Like sometimes you say should not allow numeric. In this text box, it should not allow special character. In that text box, it should only allow numeric. So this kind of format of the data we do through regular expression. But number of characters should not be blank. These kind of things we used to do through if else condition through length property. So name we have taken. What else? Email we have taken. Email we can give through regular expression. Okay. We say it as regex. I will teach you, then I will give you the work. We have employee ID. For employee ID, we will say regex as a valid email format. Like should have one @ symbol, should have either .com, .net, .edu, etc. So that is called validity of the email. So that we will do through regex. I will teach you, then I will give you the work. Employee ID should be only numeric. Okay, this is also regex. Currently, whichever feasible that you do, and whichever not feasible, regex and all. After I will teach, then we will do. User ID, password, name, role and designation anyway that is drop down, so no need for validation. But okay, you can apply should not be blank. So this one mandatory to enter and should have 6 to 12, 6 to 20, chalo 6 to 20 characters. Password 5 to 15 characters, 8 to 15 characters, let's say. If any, okay. If you are taking a text box, then use this validation. If you are not taking a text box, forget it. Name should be not a mandatory item. Because I think we have taken nullable in the check it out. If it is nullable, then you take it as mandatory, not mandatory item. If it is not null, then you take it as a mandatory item. If entered, then it should be minimum 10, 5 is okay, 5 characters and maximum 100 characters. Null is fine, empty, no problem. But if something entered, then it should be between 5 to 100. This is for avoiding, out of length data to get some error from the backend. So sometimes your hackers, what they will do, they will go in a text box, they will type some 5,000 character at a time. So your database side, you might have some 100 or 200 character in the name or course or country, something like that. So usually what it will do, if you are not a good developer, then perhaps those precautions you might not have taken in the backend. Not even any validation, not even any specific length of the characters, nothing. So it will throw error directly from the database, and you might not have handled the exception. That time they will get one error object in the front end. So once they will get one error object, server error, then whole control is with their hand. because server error will bring lot of information about the server. So those information they can use for negativity, okay, for hacking and all. So always you have to try as a good developer that what should I do so that it should not throw any error should not come to browser. If by chance error is there, it should be handled as an exception inside our C# side. So apply this. If it is not null, then you make it simply mandatory and should be between 5 to 100. And if it is null, then you make it not a mandatory, and if entered, then it should be 5 to 100 characters. What else we have? Role and designation we have. I will just mention here role and designation are drop down, so no need to check number of characters, but just check at least one item should have been selected. Little explore yourself also, okay. For text box I told, but for drop down how you will do? Obviously drop down will also have an ID na, so against that ID how to collect the data and then check it. I will tell you that also little if you want. Any ID you have, suppose here I will say, imagine you have an ID called pname, right? And you want whatever somebody is typing in this text box, it should be collected and stored in a variable. And that variable I want to check number of character, blank, not blank, etc. Then a small command is there. I will tell you that as well. So you can say var. This time my this is product name. So should I say prod name equal to here I have to say document. Okay, I'll tell you later jQuery syntax. Here in this case jQuery syntax is more advisable, but okay, if you want to write the core JavaScript function, then you have to say document dot get element by ID. Within double quote you have to say ID of that element. So your ID is pname, so just write here pname. A small hint will help you for those kind of validation. So first you collected the content, whether it is drop down, whether it is text box, whether it is anything. After all, that is having some value. So that value you are collecting and storing here. So for that you have to say value. Okay. So that whatever content you are typing, that will come and sit here in the prod name, and after that you check that prod name, whatever conditions and all that. So just for your understanding, I will put on alert and see whether this prod name is displaying or not. So I will say prod name is prod name. 2 more minutes, we will stop the class. So alert product name is this. So let's try whether it is really collecting the product name from the text box and storing in that variable. If that is happening, then your rest of the validation will be clear. So you have to collect the data and store in some variable and then check all those things. I think I have forgotten to tell that. So just a minute. Regex, it is bit bigger topic. I will teach you separately. Regular expression. So go to the product detail. I will type something like anything and say okay. Can I see it is collecting the data? That's why it is displaying in the alert box now. So that means to collect the data from the text box, drop down or anything, you have to use that ID and dot value. Dot value will tell you whatever typed that value. After that, whatever you want to use it. So this time I'm just commenting this because it is not having any appropriate meaning for this validating the prompt and all that. Anything else control we are leaving on the screen and it is not given here, so that you can proceed all of them. I will just quickly open that uh, Excel sheet. Mobile number, mobile number should be only number. Email address done, password change, date not required, designation role we already mentioned. All good. So I think all done. Only mobile number is pending. So mobile number validation I need. You apply now. Currently client side validation. Server side validation also I will tell you when I will teach you annotations, model annotations. So mobile number should be only numeric and only 10 digit. Not even less than 10 digit, not even more than 10 digit. Okay, should be only numeric and should be only 10 digit. So this is also regex, but as of now 10 digit part you can do. Okay, 10 digit part you can do now with the conditional approach, but should be only numeric, should have one @ symbol, should have something, should have uh, five special character allowed, other than that not allowed. So those kind of thing regex I will teach you 10-15 minutes topic, then you can implement that regex also here. Okay, any question guys? One by one.